Jerry Coleman, the legendary voice of the Padres and the Hall of Famer and one of the most popular people in San Diego, had a favorite phrase in baseball. Go to a ball game and you'll see something you never saw before. And we can check off a lot of different boxes, John, with what's happened in this World Series. Just think, Nick Castellanos saves the Phillies in the first game with the bottom of the ninth inning shoestring catch that allows Philadelphia to bat in the 10th, and they eventually win that big game. Then you got Justin Verlander, Cy Young Award winner, 232 career victories, John, and he's 0-6 in the postseason and can't get anybody out. Is there an explanation to that? Then you got Bryce Harper hitting home runs. You got 5 home runs in 5 innings in Home Run Derby there in Philadelphia. And then out of nowhere, with this lineup that was hitting 284 at home, the Phillies lineup, with 17 home runs at home, the Phillies lineup got no hit by Christian Vasquez. Like Jerry would say, go to a ball game, you'll see something you have never, ever seen before. Your response?
I mean, it was incredible. And, you know, in Philly, the fans are jacked up, just like they were at Petco. You know, everyone's standing up. That's what Smoltz was always talking about. And it's just been a very entertaining World Series. I mean, when was the last time there was a no-hitter? It's got to go back to the 50s, right?
1956, Don Larson, Yankees, Brooklyn Dodgers. By the way, I was a young pup. I saw that on TV. How about that?
Wow, well, right on. And yeah, he's like a local guy from Point Loma, right?
Yes.
So that's terrific. So yeah, this has just been a great World Series. And now the Astros are tied, right? Now it's 2-2. So now it's a 3-game series and anything can happen.
And it's best of 3 and somebody's going back to Houston and somebody is going to win this. I mean, it is staggering to me that Christian Vasquez with his high heat was able to no-hit that batting order. Those guys never came close to lining one off the wall or hitting a really tough ball that somebody had to chase down. I mean, it was just business-like. He was mowing them down. The Houston relief pitching retired 20 Philly batters in a row in that ballpark.
You know, listening to the pregame show with, you know, A-Rod and Poppy and you know, the Big Hurt. But A-Rod talked about that in the beginning of the game where they couldn't hit the fastball and they had to go back to it because they were able to, you know, maybe pick up maybe they were giving up the signs for or giving a signal that they were about to do a curveball. But when they were throwing the fastball, the Phillies were largely inept. And we saw it last night.
Amazing. So it's now down to a best of 3 series. This is going back to Houston. I still think anybody can win this because you may have put your thumb down on Philadelphia's batting order, Christian Vasquez, but can you repeat that? Can you do it again? I just don't know. And even in Houston, where the Astros were unbeaten when the World Series started, then got beat, even in Houston, Phillies can hit, Astros can hit. Both teams have proven they can win on the road. Trust me, John, this thing is not over.
No, not over at all. I remember back in the day, remember the teams, their number 1 starter used to be able to pitch in the 1st, the 4th, and the 7th game, and they don't do that now. So the pitching matchups, when you get here into these final 3 games, anything can happen.
Do you like Smoltz as a color analyst? You know, part of me says, wow, his analysis is from such a different perspective. It's a mental approach to the game as to how a pitcher deals with hitters, how hitters deal with pitchers. I mean, he floors me because he says things that make you think about the intangible things of pitching. It's just not, can I get 97? Can I get movement? It's how you set up a guy. I mean, I've been fascinated if you listen closely to what John Smoltz says. Now, some of the national critics have said, geez, the TV broadcast, there's no emotion there. There's, you know, do you want X's and O's? Do you want historical stories from these guys who've been in great games? Or do you want the thinking man's approach to the World Series, which I tend to think Smoltz provides us? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, all the emotion and energy is coming from the 45, 50,000 fans in the stadium. So I like the way Smoltz is approached. To your point, he's a thinking man's analyst, but he's also not ego-driven. You know, he just seems really sincere and authentic, and he's a guy that we have this gravitational pull to. So yeah, good on him. I mean, maybe we got a new star in the broadcast booth.